Hello everyone, welcome back to another Coaster Bridge Reductions presentation. Today we are doing finally another bridge video. I haven't been doing these for a while because I've been focusing on coasters, as this month in August is usually when the theme parks announce their plans for the next year. So I've been busy with that, and I've also been busy on working on other videos for my training channel, which you can go check out. It's CSS Guide 2005 and my Reptile channel. Reptiles 2905. I have to still work on. I've just been focusing on things. I've also been focusing on Discord a lot, so all the people are being friendly to me and nice, which is good. So yeah, so what are we doing in today's video? We are starting our bridge tour down the Great Mississippi River. So this is going to take a while. This is going to be a whole series. Now, this video is going to be in two parts because I did film this video on my phone. There was a storage problem. The video ended up being like 40 minutes long, which is too long. No, too long. So I decided to split it up, which is good because 40 is an even number. I can split it up. So right when we get into central Minneapolis, there's going to be part 1 and part 2. So yeah. And as I said, we're starting with the Twin Cities, but let's go to the Mississippi headwaters, shall we? Here, 1,475 feet above the ocean, the mighty Mississippi begins its flow on its winding way 2,552 miles through the Gulf of Mexico. So this is Itasca State Park, about 165 miles north of Minneapolis, and as you can see, that's the river. It's very tiny compared to what it is in some other places. And it is said if you walk across the river and make a wish, it is said that in 88 days that wish will come true, because that's so long until that water will reach the Gulf of Mexico. So, which is nice. And some people have actually rode down the Mississippi River. Remained it a couple times, and then some other people did it. It is a great feat to do that, actually. And there's also some cruises that you can take down the Mississippi, which I didn't really know about. Yes, there's 31 bridges on the Mississippi River. Well, in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. I don't know if nobody knows how many bridges are on the Mississippi, because there's probably too many to count. But yeah, there's 2 other bridges down by Hastings, and there's another bridge like up. Actually, no. Yes, there's another bridge up north and down south. There are 2 bridges down south and one up north that I did not get on the map, but you can kind of follow the river as it goes along. Yeah, but let's check out the bridges, shall we? I decided to include the first version just to show you how this is also the smallest bridge on the Mississippi. There's a little pedestrian bridge, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, but this is Wilderness Avenue. So now we are starting with our first bridge. The Anoka Champlain Bridge was built in 1929. It replaced a 1884 predecessor, which I think was an iron truss bridge. And it's the first several deck arch bridges on the Mississippi. the upper, because you have a lot of these in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area, which I like those. Those are not really common anymore. And deck arch bridges mean that they're under the deck. Yeah, under the deck. So the Richard Braun Bridge was built between 1985 and 1989 in 2 different spans. It is also the first civil steel or concrete segmental bridges, which are concrete segmental bridges are bridges built in concrete segments. Steel girder bridges are built out of steel girders. And there's a lot of these in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and then there's a couple of these in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area. Who was Richard Braun? Well, Richard Braun was a former commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Transportation, or MNDOT, I think that's called, because there's too many states that start with M, so there would be confusion, because they can't have MDOT for every state. Yeah. Let's go on to our next bridge. And here's another steel girder bridge, the I-694 Mississippi River Bridge. Built in generation spans, 1963 and 1988. These bridges are my least favorite, probably because in North Carolina they're so common and I'm really kind of tired of them, but they're the cheapest and simplest design, so so yeah, they're the cheapest and simplest design. They don't require too much planning, as much as a arch bridge or cable stayed bridge or suspension bridge, which who knows when the next one will be built in the U.S. Because they're seeing more of these arch bridges and cable stayed bridges more than suspension bridges, because those are getting really expensive. And there's not really one needed, but so far it's so good. Again, the Camden Bridge, another steel girder bridge built in 1977. Although I like the blue on it, the blue looks very nice. The blue guardrails look nice. The blue on the steel supports look pretty nice, especially with the background. Sorry, something fell. Yeah, everything looks really nice. This is how you can make a bridge type like this one look nice if you color it, basically. Or just make it look nice from the bottom to the top. Alright, we have a first railroad bridge. This is a Canadian Pacific. Yes, Canadian Pacific and Canadian National run in the United States. If you don't know that. And CP is also trying to buy out Kansas City Southern, which I'm tired of hearing. Because I've been hearing it for a long time, and me being as a coming back rail fan, it's kind of annoying because I've been hearing it for a few months, So this bridge was built in 1905. It was a former Great Northern Railway bridge, which you're going to see another Great Northern Railway bridge built by a well-known railroad tycoon. Yeah, same old train bridge. I don't really like train bridges because they're basically the same. They're all old, most of them. I'm not talking about light rail bridges, so some of those can look nice. But train bridges that are used by railroad bridges. Train bridge, railroad bridges, and who cares? But yeah, I just don't like how they look. Like, they look like rusty. Alright, here we have our first arch bridge, a modern type. This is a Lowry Avenue bridge, the current 2012 bridge, which is actually a nice picture right here. The night, it's like a perfect, like a, I'm not sure what you would call that. A teardrop. That's it. That's it. Like sideways teardrop. Yeah. Yeah. This is the first. This is the third bridge in this location. The first bridge was another 5-span truss bridge, and then that became too weak to handle traffic. And then in 1958, a new bridge was built, but the supports from the 1905 bridge are still used, but they were raised to allow navigation traffic. And after the bridge collapse on the 35W bridge, which I'll get to later, you're gonna see this on another bridge. The inspection for this bridge showed it was also too weak to handle the traffic needed, and a replacement started to look, and the contract was awarded to construct a new bridge, which is the bridge you see today. And it's the first of many arch bridges on the river. They're usually all the arch bridges like these, like this one, are on the upper Mississippi. There's not an arch bridge on the lower Mississippi, which the upper Mississippi and lower Mississippi are between where it begins in Antastas State Park all the way down to Cairo, Illinois, and then that's the lower Mississippi until it reaches the Gulf of Mexico. Just to make that clear. Alright, we have our Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway Urbana South Road Bridge, built in 1987. I put 1987 even though that's what I found, but I'm not sure when this bridge was built. Yeah, and same old train bridge, same old design, basically, and it used to be owned by the Northern Pacific, and until the Northern Pacific and the Great Northern merged to create Burlington Northern, and then in 1995, the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe merged to create BNSF, so that's who owns the bridge today. So the Broadway Street Bridge was built 1857, 1887, 1987, which is pretty strange that they only did 7. So I forgot what the first bridge was. I'm sorry about that, but the 1887 bridge was a very nice looking cantilever iron truss bridge, which was torn down in 1985 due to become too weak, and it was replaced with the current bridge right here. I got a little confused with the pictures, so I don't know if this is the correct bridge. Like the Plymouth Avenue bridge, I think this is the Broadway bridge. I never heard of Broadway Street, because usually when there's a Broadway, this is Broadway. Like Broadway in Manhattan, there's no Broadway Street. Yeah, but one section of the bridge, I think it's on the end trusses. This one, the end spans that were moved to create the Merriman Street Bridge, which I'll talk about later. Yeah, and this new bridge was built in 1987. So the Plymouth Avenue Bridge is basically the same thing without the lighthouse, obviously, which is pretty interesting. You have a lighthouse on the Mississippi. I think that's the only lighthouse in the Mississippi. If there's another one, please tell me. Yeah, another girder bridge built in 1983. And as you can see, we're getting close to central Minneapolis, so let's see what bridges are in central Minneapolis. Before we get into that, I need to take a little break. Okay, I'm back, and it's thundering if you can hear that. So now we have the Heineken Avenue Bridge, built in 1990. There was a circa 1860s suspension bridge. You can see it in the black and white picture, which looks interesting, by the way. I don't know if it was... Man, that was bad. I don't think Minnesota was even a state back then. But yeah, there's only 2 suspension bridges on the Mississippi. The other one is between Iowa and Illinois. I know the Iowa-Illinois Bridge is being torn down soon, which... to me, you can't tear down a suspension bridge. Even this bridge is already 30 years old. I thought it was built in the 50s or 60s. Maybe in the 30s or 40s. I had no idea it was built in the 90s. I'm not sure when the 1860s bridge was built, but I don't know. And here is that. And here is it circa. And here is the Merriman Street Bridge, part of the original Broadway bridge. It was moved to this location in 1985, by the way. And there's a placard that is illegible. But yeah, that's the Merriman Street Bridge. A simple dress design. Here we have the first open spandrel concrete arch bridge, which means it's open. As you can see, this bridge was built in 1918. And it is a 5-span or 6-7-span, I can't really count. But yeah, that's the Central Avenue Bridge. Nice looking bridge. Especially in this lighting, looks really nice. And my next bridge is very historic. This is the Stone Arch Bridge, built in 1883. It was built by the Empire Builder. So in the 1870s or 1870s, the Canadian-American business tycoon James J. Hill wanted to build a railway to connect his businesses in the Midwest to the port of Seattle to trade with Asia. Which at that time, that route was too brutal and costly for horse-drawn carriage, so the Great Northern Railway was planned from Chicago to Seattle, Washington, which that line is still used by the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway, or BNSF. And this was one of the original bridges on the Great Northern Railway. This was also known as Hill's Folly until they got to the Cascade Mountains, which was very difficult to build through. It took 3 times. The 3rd time they got through with the Cascade Tunnel. The 2 others, not so great, but I'll save the rail stuff for the rail corridor history for my train channel. Yeah, this bridge is now used by pedestrians and bicycle, and it still looks good. Stone is very strong, it lasts a long time. If this was built out of steel or iron, it would have been probably torn down, but stone, very strong material. It's the strongest material that we have for construction. Even whatever this building is from is still standing. Yeah. August 1st, 2007, a major collapse happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on the I-35W bridge. It was the 1967 bridge that collapsed due to a design flaw and the increased weight on the bridge as they were working on the bridge on that dark day. And 13 people were killed. And this is something I don't want to really talk about with bridge disasters because it's kind of... So some people get very disturbed when they hear somebody talk about, like, car accident or bridge collapsing or basically people getting hurt or killed. So that's why I don't talk about that stuff, because it's very disturbing for some people. I mean, for me, I'm the neutral in it, and I'm like halfway new. For me, it's bad, but sometimes you can learn stuff, like what happened, how did it cause the accident, how they prevented it, or how could it have been prevented. Right, they just said it was a design flaw that caused it, and the increased weight, as you can see. And this like sparked an infrastructure rebuild boom, which is... Oh gosh, it's a terrible horn. There's a train, I can hear them even though I'm 2 miles away from the nearest track, but... Ugh. Yeah, but the new bridge, thankfully, is made out of concrete, not steel. But still, this bridge is designed to last 100 years, so it'll be here for a while. So yeah, that's part 1. Part 2 will be coming out later today around 1 o'clock. So I'll see you guys then. So I'll see you guys for part 2.